technology in design and production. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to show the matrix in the Keanu Reeves sense of the word. Technology is everything, and it's happening in a way we may not see. So the idea is to make that matrix visible to all of us. And that's the reason we invited Neelam Chandwani from Clovirtual Fashion, Rohit Kutalia from Co-Poly9, Sanjay Sagu from Accent, and we've got two people from the industry. One is Manish Koval he's a head technical at Triberg. And we've got Asad Shamshi. Are you there, Asad? Achal, is Asad there?
He's not there yet, but
he'll be joining us later.
A little later, yeah.
Okay. Asad Shamshi will be joining us from Paramount Industries. And we will be taking on both these experiences, their experiences with working with these products and their testimonials as how to work it. So we'll be covering both apparel, hard goods, and Muradabad, as well as Tirupur, Delhi, and the other areas that are doing apparel. So while I'd like to...
Rohini ji, can I hold?
I think that's about the introduction.
Rohini ji, can I request you to please hold on? It looks like a lot of people cannot see the panelist. Videos except the speakers. Oh, that's fine. Okay. That's fine. I think, okay, just for everybody to know, we are in webinar mode. You will only be able to see the panelist, which is going to be the people that Rohini ji has just spoken about. You'd not be able to see any other videos for the people who have come on as guests today on this session. I hope that's okay for everybody. Rohini ji, please go on.
Yeah, we're going to make it interactive in the future again, but we're having some glitches which we're going to be sorting out soon. So thank you for joining us, Ilango from Tirupur. He is our partner at BAA, and we look forward to having many vendors from Tirupur come in on the show. Muradabad, welcome. Saranpur, welcome. Panipat, welcome. And all the other centers that I may have missed out, and friends, students, who have come in on this webinar. Especially for students, I'd like to say that institutes like Parsons Schools of Design, as well as London College of Fashion, are now working on the digital platform. Till now, most of the education was manual in production and merchandising. It is turning completely, and the lockdown is helping the students to understand, especially Clo9, and how to go virtual. So this is the students, I think Clo Design 3D is now currently free for understanding the platform for students. So I think that we are going to be doing that. Another introduction I'd like to make is these platforms that we have got in the industry, which are valid for all industries across exports. And we are actually in the best state because we are so used to technology in the business that we can use these technologies to go forward. And for as little as 25,000 per year, you can start using these platforms for communication, because communication is going to end the way we knew it. We will not be able to travel for 2 years at least. It's going to be like back to after World War, that very rare people got onto flight. So we are facing those situations, but yet our industry cannot stop. Now we're going to go forward, and I'm going to ask Neelam Chandwani, I'm going to ask Christine Rai to give us a little bit of view from BAA on how we're going to be going forward in the industry. Thank you, Christine. Please come on.
Good morning, Christine? Everybody. Yes, can you hear me all right? Good morning, everybody.
Yes, you can.
We are using the webinar technology, I think, for the first time here. So we are having a few small glitches, and I apologize for that. I can see we have 199 participants already, so that is fantastic. As you can see, the need of the hour. Can I ask? Can we mute Rohini's mic, please? The need of the hour is technology in business. This is what the BAA has, one of our mandates is sharing knowledge, sharing what's relevant. And we are using this lockdown period, this time when we're all having to work remote, we are using this time to try and bring you as many relevant topics as we can. We would also welcome suggestions from all of you. We welcome suggestions from our members. We welcome suggestions from our partners in the industry. We welcome suggestions from the vendor community, from the EPCs, from people in education. We are going to be also reaching out to many design schools, looking to see how we can make technology relevant, how we can make design relevant. So there's a huge amount to do, and I can assure you that BAA is very much there working on what to do next. So it looks like we are going to be doing weekly webinars. We will select the timing to suit what's happening in the industry. We don't want to be clashing with anybody else and losing our audience. We will also be recording all the sessions, and we'll let you know we will probably put them up on YouTube. Anshul, can we put the recordings up on a YouTube? I think that's the best way. Then
we'll be doing that. We're doing that for all our websites.
We will put the link on our website. We'll put the link on our Instagram, on our social media pages. So we welcome all of you. Just to add very briefly to what Rohini just said, the world is now looking at technology in a completely different way. I think I've just got off a call with my office, and we had 130 people on the call, and we used to struggle to try and squish everybody into a room. We didn't have a room in the office big enough, and now we can talk to everybody so easily with technology. We can talk to our outstation offices. So even the fashion world, I was on a Vogue webinar yesterday where the fashion industry has declared that Milan Fashion Show in July will be a virtual show. I know that many of us in the industry are now looking at how to use the virtual space to show our products, to sell our products, how will buyers come there. So it is a huge, huge change, mindset change, shift in how we work. So I really welcome all our panelists. We seem to be missing a panelist, Anshul. So I don't know if you can get our industry panelists seem to be missing.
Yes, Asad is still not here. I've asked Ankit to call him.
So I think we can turn over.
Manish is online, yeah.
Manish is online. Okay, so
yeah,
I think we're going to. Yeah, so we will make sure that we schedule the calls. We may need to the talks. We may need to adjust it. So without further ado, a big welcome to everybody, to our panelists, and I will hand over the floor. Thank you very much indeed, and a great pleasure to be here.
Okay, thank you, Christine. Let me thank the rest of the team which is working behind it before we start with Neelam Chandwani as our first panelist. Is to thank people like Ankit and Ruba Malik for the idea to put this together, Nitin for the technology support, and team BAA who has been working on this project for the last 2 weeks to bring this to all of us. And let's go for it. Neelam Chandwani from Crow Virtual Fashion, please come on. Your turn.
Hello, hi, thank you.
Neelam.
I am going to share my screen now. First of all, before I start.
Neelam, you need help? Hello? Achal, where is Neelam gone?
She's there, Roniji. I think she's trying to share her screen. Neelam, is there something we can do for you if you're not able to share screen?
Oh. Neelam needs to be unmuted.
That's okay. She can do it at her end. I think she's muted herself.
Okay.
Neelam, is there
All
something I
right.
can help you with? Neelam, can you hear us?
In the meantime, I would like, members who are already here on the platform to definitely to Forbes magazine. They have a lot of articles on technology today and how we're going to be moving forward in the fashion industry, whether it may be hard goods or craft, handicraft, and of course apparel, which is a key business for India.
Rohini, while we are waiting for Neelam to start, I'd like to definitely guide our members and guests today over the session in the format of how we're going to do this today. So we have three panelists, as Rohini has already shared with you. And all these three panelists will be sharing their products that they have done on the design/tech end, which is catering to our industry. They'll get 10 minutes approximately to do that, after which we will have somebody from the industry, for at least a couple of them, who will share their reviews of their experience with the softwares, because that is also always more critical. So they'll get 2 to 3 minutes to give us a review on what the software has been all about. And there'll be a couple of questions which we already have, which we want to ask the panelists in the interest of the entire audience. Thereafter, once we're done with all the three sessions, then we'll open the questions to everybody. In fact, you would have the questions panel on your webinar modules, whereby you can send us the questions in between the discussion also. And in that case, once we are done with the entire three sessions, we would request the panelists to take up the session.
Okay, sorry, I think I got lost somewhere, right? As soon as I started sharing my screen. Was it?
Yeah, actually you did, Neelam. So if you're back on, then we can start.
Awesome. Sorry, everybody, for that goof up. I don't know what happened. Trust me.
Are you able to share your screen now, or is there a
We're all learning.
I'm going to try now again. Are you able to see my screen? So I
Yes.
can,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for the introductions, of course. I am going to minimize this stuff, right? So let's deep dive straight in here. So first I'll introduce myself. I'm Neelam. I'm the Biz Dev Head for the Clo India office. And as you can see on the screen, our company name is Clo Virtual Fashion. And our software solution that caters to the fashion industry is called Clo. So what we do, we specialize in true to life 3D garment simulation, and all the images that you're going to see in this whole presentation are created digitally inside Clo. So in Clo, you can express denims. With denims, of course, washes, puckering, distress, holes, etc. are possible to express. You can also express volume inside Clo. You can also express satin and lace with transparency inside Clo. You are also able to render out fur and glitter, and you are able to control all the aspects in terms of colors or the size or the type of material as well. So 60% of the lifestyle images that you see online are digitally created, and companies like IKEA and Target are using our solutions to be able to do this. Now, creating permutations, combinations, moving around the pillows, even the pillows are created in Clo, and changing colorways or the materials is fairly easy. You also have light settings that you can build your environment inside Clo itself. So you can also express gloves inside Clo. So anything that constitutes a 2D pattern, you can bring it inside Clo and create them, right? So your current 2D CAD solutions are compatible with CLO, as well as you can create the patterns inside CLO with the 2D, very robust 2D tool library that we have. Again, when you export it out, it is compatible with, again, your 2D CAD.
I can't see your screen. I hope other people are seeing the screen properly.
Yes, Nitinji, we can.
Okay,
Can I request?
okay. Carry on then, carry on.
Yeah.
Okay. So CLO is built on a very superior physics engine. That means that the user has the liberty to be able to add as many details as they want. And also the speed is not restricted because of the software is very, very stable. You can see here a lot of details created, ensembles, styling done within CLO itself. Another big advantage of using CLO is that you can express tiny little details like pintux and ruching as well, which other solutions struggle with. You are able to bring in more than a few garment categories, showcase your looks, also collections. A few more examples. One interesting thing about CLO is in the 3D window, the garment behaves like real garment. It would move around just like that. So it's very easy to do sleeve roll-ups and bows and ties also. You can also expand in different product categories, including, of course, bags that you see here because of the bonding and skiving feature that are involved. Yeah. Really quickly looking at our company a little bit. So we were founded in 2009 in Seoul, South Korea. This is where we are headquartered, and our development centers are also located there. We have 9 offices across the globe, and our India office is located in Bangalore. We cater to the Indian subcontinent region from here. We have resellers all across the globe, and the idea is to be able to cater to the user base locally, understand their challenges and align expectations as well. We are very closely connected with our user base. We have 3 to 4 million users, very active users across the globe. And we are a very user-centric company. We hear their feedback, and based on their feedback, we come up with new features every release. So we are always trying to make CLO much more easier, faster, and fun to use, and all of it is based off on the user request. So here is a quick look at the non-exhaustive list of our clients. You can see here that there are a lot of different companies with different product categories as well as different workflows. So we believe as a company that 3D is not a puzzle that you are trying to plug in into the product lifecycle development, but it should be able to assist in every stage. So we consult with our clients and understand their workflows and advise them on the best implementation strategies for their very unique workflow. We also work with a lot of academic clients. Since you mentioned Parsons, we had official curriculum that was launched last year. We are very invested in academics as well, mainly because we want to give students the exposure, as well as make sure that companies like yourself have a user base that is ready with preset skill set to hire. So let's look at how we can assist in R&D, pre-fit sample, and development sample stages. So if you noticed, I said assist, not replace. The reason why is that there is a lot of fear in the industry that technology is taking away the jobs, which we believe is not the case with CLO. It is very user-friendly software, easy to learn and implement as well. And all the actors in the product lifecycle development are able to use it effectively to enhance and improve their workflows. So before you apply 3D to your workflow, there are a lot of sampling review rounds happening with physical samples. But after you apply CLO to your workflow, all the sampling and reviews happens in 3D sample. And then you make one last sample and then you go to market. Most of our clients are able to eliminate that round within 3 or 4 seasons itself. We want our clients to have the confidence as with 3D implementation. Yeah. I do have a recorded demo that my team sent me right before this meeting because there were some glitches. So I'll just play the video now. right? So here you can see that there is the Flow interface. You have patterns, and it's very quick and easy and very interactive between the two windows. This is one of the biggest strength. Anybody can use it. Even the designer can tell with the color coded lines, and a technical person can tell with the measurements that you can see here. I'm going to walk this video, sorry, a little bit because it is fairly long. There is a lot of 2D tools to control what you want to make very easily. You are able to plug in fabrics. There are a lot of options. There is built-in library of fabrics, of trims, etc. inside Clo, and you can always customize them, and also you can bring from outside. We will talk more about it at later if anybody has any questions about it. Quite a lot of tools work in 2D and 3D to be able to assist designers as well as technical people to find their own special workflow. We of course have a very easy zipper tool, works both in 2D and 3D window. I'm just going to walk. You are able to apply different fabrics to different panels. All the edits that you're making right here, when you export out the patterns, you are able to see these in your 2D CAD softwares. Yeah, grading is possible inside Clo, adding seam allowances, adding notches, annotations, very feature heavy. You have a print layout mode, BOM mode, where you can find the approximate yield yardage as well as the approximate costing for your styles as well. You can change poses. There are a lot of options for the avatars. You have colorway mode. You can quickly create a lot of colorways. One interesting, are you guys still with me?
Absolutely with you, Neelam.
Okay,
Please go
yeah,
on. Yeah.
okay. So you are also able to, like I said, create color.
Neelam, can you cover home also? Softline?
Home we will do after the presentation because I don't have a demo, but it is possible. Like I said, I showed an example
If you
earlier.
can, yeah. Can you show a few screens what has been done in home also?
Yes, absolutely. After the presentation is over, we'll do that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see here the BOM mode in play. You are able to get all the fabric details, etc., for each colorway and each fabric that is used here. Another interesting thing in Clo is that you have Pantone integration built in. You also have a render engine that is built in that will give you high quality outputs. All again is customizable by the user in terms of size, lights, backgrounds, etc. Right, and then you are also able to use this in your photo shoot. Who's to say you cannot? So, okay, moving forward. Now that you've created a 3D garment, how can you communicate in 3D? Right, so the outputs in Clo you can get is JPEG, PNG with or without the transparent backgrounds, AVI turntable video file formats, all is customizable. Also, you can do live interactive meetings because Clo is very, very easy and fast to use. So you can screen share and get the approvals right then and there. We also have a built-in catwalk inside Clo. Everything again is customizable, including the moves, the light, the background setup, etc. Yeah, I'm moving a little too fast because I want to cover quite a lot of information. So you are also able to communicate in 3D. So if the other person does not have a Clo software, they can still communicate with you. There is a Clo viewer on our website, free of cost. Anybody can download it and you send them the 3D file. They are able to open and interact with it. We have another more robust solution, which is called Closet. This is our 3D garment repository. It's a cloud-based platform, and I'm going to show you really quickly how you can work with this. So on Closet, actually, when you upload, you are able to share this as well as interact with the 3D garment. Clicking through all the different colorways, you are able to comment. Your buyers or your vendors are able to comment. You can generate automatic tech pack. You can generate automatic BOM, and your comment history is also controlled by the version. It is very feature heavy. Again, we will talk more about it towards the end if anybody is interested. You can also export line sheets, etc. Here. Okay, so the results, of course, are shorter lead time because you are able to enhance the previous sample and development sample stages with 3D. Other results are higher sample savings and higher selection rates, because earlier you were making a lot of garments and selecting a few of them, but now your choices are more informed. So this also results in lead time efficiency. Instead of taking weeks to go back and forth between physical samples, you are able to do it much more faster digitally. Other ROIs is reduction in sample cost. Of course, we talked about it. Reduction in internal chaos, reduce time to market, increase in number of designs, better communication, and higher selection rates. Quickly looking at some of the use cases. This is a company that has replaced the product photo shoot as well with Clo garments. Some companies are using it for the marketing campaign. Some of them are using to pre-book capacity based off on the digital, on the response on the digital collections that they present to your buyers. So the ideas are limitless. Yeah. So, okay, right. So something like this is already a reality. Virtual showrooms. There are social gaming websites up online that have stores of brands where people actually go and buy digital stuff. There are freelancers who are selling clothes up online as well on those sites made on our solutions. And with, I think, the current COVID crisis, it becomes more real than ever and faster, of course. So why do we need 3D to be at the center of the process innovation? Because it, of course, touches all the concerns that we have. It improves lead time, increases efficiency, enhances customer engagement, and of course, we should all be talking about sustainability now. One of the biggest reason Clo is successful is because it can be used by all the actors in the product lifecycle development. So nobody is talking in tech packs or sketches or BOMs. It is not just a virtualization tool, but it is a new language of fashion. Yeah, so finally, our mission is to not sell 3D garment software to the apparel industry, but our mission is to virtualize every single garment on earth, to transform the way we produce and consume garments, and to organize all the garment-related data and make it useful. So that will be all from my side. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will now have a question and answer round if you guys have any.
Thank you, Neelam. That was indeed a very exciting demo to go through. I'm sure members are very excited about this. We have a lot of questions coming in for you in the Q&A session. So during the remaining seminar where other people are presenting, I would request you to take up these questions. We would also like to know, a lot of our members have put in the request that this seems very garment oriented, and all of them are very excited to know what is it that you can do on Clo 3D as far as textiles or home living is concerned. So can we use this into textiles and home living, or is this predominantly going to be garment software for the garment exporters?
Okay, Clo is essentially a 3D simulation, fabric simulation technology. So if you know fabric and patterns, you can create it inside Clo. Of course, you saw one example of home.
Right.
It was created inside Clo itself. Again, with the volume feature, it becomes very easy to create pillows instantly inside Clo. Same things can be used for garment as well as for home furnishing. Be it colorways, moving around the things. Like I said, the garment behaves in the 3D window as it would in real life. So moving around rugs and placing it in other places,
Right.
having different light settings, making environments, all of it is possible. It's just about what the users want to do as opposed to what we tell them to do.
Correct. So are you currently doing that for any of the home living or the textile? I mean, what I understand, it's not going to be on the hard goods side, but definitely on the textile home furnishing side, Clo 3D could help. Yeah?
Yes, we are.
Perfect. In fact, there was another question that was requested to be asked, and I would put that up right away. Is basically to understand how easy is the software of yours to be used? I mean, does it take a lot of training and understanding for a layman person who's never used technology to start using the software? And is there any specific machinery or something that you need to use Clo 3D?
Yes, we have recommended specs, of course, but it works on the older ones, i5, etc. as well. We
Right.
have recommended the highest ones as well for our clients to look at. And in
Right.
terms of ease of use, it is fairly easy to use. It depends on the users.
Mhm.
You do not need to have too much technical knowledge, as long as you can understand the patterns, what seam goes where. And again, Flow is very interactive. So if you're making any mistakes, you are able to fix it right then and there. It's very
Right.
forgiving. So
Right.
that definitely helps. Again, in terms of using, most of our users use by themselves, and then they start exploring. We have a lot of
Right.
resources up online on our YouTube channel that users can utilize to you know, get started already.
Absolutely. Another question that has come up, and it's very pertinent for me to ask right away, is obviously it looks like a very exhaustive and a seamless software. However, there are going to be the smaller people, the small and medium enterprises. Do you think Clo 3D is apt for customization into smaller scenarios, or would you recommend this to be used only on a larger scale? So, how does it weigh off?
It does not depend on the size of the company. I think it should be able to assist in every sized company. There
Okay.
are freelancers using it. There are one people company using it, and there are big, large enterprises using it as well. So
Okay.
it all
So,
depends.
so
No,
it's not like something that you require a large team to handle or somebody this
no.
thing. So anybody and everybody. So I think
Anybody.
that really validly answers quite a few interesting questions here. I would now invite Manish from Triberg. Manish has had a hands-on experience with Clo 3D. So we'd like him to share his experience of how his experience has been so far with Clo 3D. Manish, would you come on, please?
Yeah. Good morning,
Also,
everyone.
he'll be able to answer some of the Q&As actually. Manish,
Yeah, yeah,
welcome.
sure.
Yes, Rohini ji, we've put in the Q&A, and I would be requesting both Manish and Neelam to please go into the Q&A tab. We already have some 23 Q&As. If you could please start answering them, it'll be great help for everybody here. Thank you. Yes, Manish, please come on and speak.
Good morning, everyone. I'm
Good.
Manish from Triberg and managing the technical design team at Triberg. As Neelam has already showed you how the 3D Winclo works, so I'll just give you a brief of how we started at Triberg. We had been using this 3D for the last 2 years at Triberg. And initially, there was a lot of apprehensions on both vendor and client side on whether the 3D would be even practical to work on daily basis. But after we did a detailed study and research, we were convinced that 3D technology is going to transform the way apparel companies develop their fashion products. So we took this vision forward and worked on training our internal team as well as vendors in how to effectively use 3D in sampling. We have been interacting with Clo Optitex at very senior level for training and implementation of software in daily use. Triberg has been facilitating this training to create a pool of talent among the vendors and Triberg and make them ready for future as usage of 3D grows. So our design and technical team works hand in gloves to execute any design or sampling queries from clients in 3D. We have been working on tier sheets, spec packages, sketches received from the client, and then we make the patterns and make the 3Ds on Flow in multiple options for their review. So through this consistent working in 3D with client, they have now started committing orders for certain product categories after reviewing the 3D samples only. In this case, no physical samples are sent. I'll just share you with an example. Like during this Corona pandemic, we were supposed to send the holiday collection to one of our clients in US by end of April. But due to lockdown, our office and factories were closed and we couldn't get any samples made. We didn't even had the sample fabric yardages as it was stuck in the ports. The only option was 3D. So what we did was we collaborated with our technicians, designers, and vendor technicians, pattern makers who were working from home. And then we worked with the Far East mills, which were open to get the fabric textures, prints, and colorways, got the patterns made from pattern makers from home, and got all these styles, holiday styles made in 3D within record days. And we were able to send the whole 3D collection on time to the client. And this was a big thing because even in physical samples, we always get delayed in sending the samples, but in 3D, we got it on time. This did not only save our sampling money and time, but also helped gain client confidence and trust also. We are now taking a step further and we are working to get these styles virtually fitted at client's end using Closet, which is one of the uh, web-based interface of Clo and video conferencing. So in this way, we have been working with the vendors, with the pattern makers, with our designers, technicians, and making sure that 3D is taken in a big way in sampling and we reduce all the physical sampling. Lastly, I would like to say, like, while there are definite benefits which brands can experience from implementing 3D sampling, various challenges still exist. The 3D technology needs a lot of upgrades and added features in terms of certain styling and fitting challenges. And I know which they are already working on. We give a lot of feedback to the 3D companies. Upon them, they give new upgrades and they give us new features, and it's a consistent process. So one thing is certain, like virtual sampling is inevitable as we move on into an increasingly digital world. So the sooner we adapt it, I think the better our business will be placed in the future.
Totally true, Manish. I would totally say that's become need of the hour. Virtual sampling reduces the cost of sampling at in a massive manner, and especially in the garment industry. Also for the home industry, where we don't have to put in so much of extra time and effort into getting the same things done again and again because of just small issues that
Right.
have been corrected earlier. Thank you so much for this lovely feedback. It does look like Clo 3D is doing some fabulous job here in terms of its software and helping its exporter people get this sorted. Thanks, Manish. I would now invite Rohit from Poly9. Rohit, can I request you to take up the presentation? So just for our audience to know where Clo 3D was predominantly a textile software, garments and home furnishings. Poly9 has brought around a software for 3D products that can come up as for hard goods. So Rohit would take us through a presentation on this, please. Rohit, can we ask you to come in, please?
Thank you, Anshul. Let me just give me a minute. I'll just share my screen.
Sure.
Okay. By the time that Rohit is sharing his screen, Achal, I would like Neelam to answer all those questions. Maybe she can chat and answer them all.
Rohini,
There are quite a few questions to be answered.
She's already doing that. She's starting to do that. It's there on the Q&A session.
Okay, great. Great.
Neelam,
Wonderful.
I hope you can
Thanks,
review
Neelam.
the Q&A tab and if you could answer the questions therein.
Yes, obviously.
Thank you. Thanks, Neelam.
Yes.
Anshul, hope you can see the presentation, my screen.
Yes, it's visible,
Rohit,
sir.
we can see it. Thank you, Rohit. Continue, please.
Thank you. Okay, great. So Poly9 is a startup founded in 2013. We call it a startup because the first 4-5 years were spent in building the product actually. And it was about 1.5-2 years ago that we actually went commercial. So we have a supplier-based solution, an agency-based solution, and a retail solution. Over here, we are concentrating on the agency-based solution or the agency-based platform that we have. To give you an overview of the discussion of what I intend to discuss with you, a brief outline of that. We help you develop, showcase, and finalize your product before it goes into manufacturing. So we are in a space where it is unstructured right now. We're talking through emails, you're talking through PDFs, emails, Excel sheets, and the information is all over the place and not structured in any manner. So that is the space that we are playing in. We help you upload products in a 3D format, add multiple finish options, and in this case, the options, generate digital photographs, share links with your clients in a secure manner, and get live feedback. So I'll walk you through all of these things as we go along. Make changes in the products, changes in terms of material or other shapes, capture approvals, and of course, track all that information in a project activity or a project manner. This is just giving a visual of how it looks like. We have a platform, requires certain input. We call it a 3D editable file, which can be created either by a third party or Polyline, and similarly have materials and finishes as well. The platform processes it, which I'll walk you through, and the output comes, which can be shared with the client on a simple browser. So there's no software that he needs to download. A simple browser is all that's required to view this and make any changes to it. The fundamental elements, now that we are talking about digital visualization in this case, is the fact that this is a very visual elements of each step of the process. So I'm going to talk about each of these factors, but the core of it also remains that each of these elements have a very visual feel to it. So if I talk about visualization, this is the type of visualization we are talking about. This is shared in a simple Explorer format in a 3D, where the customer can actually move this whole product 360 degrees in any direction, zoom in, zoom out, and the material and finishes are as realistic as you can get. Not just 3D, we also can do AR, which is augmented reality. So without creating any physical samples, you can actually showcase it to your customers at his place in an AR environment. All he needs is either an iPad or a phone in which he can view the product in his own physical environment. Now, if I come to it, when you share your products with the customers, there are different kinds of information that you would like to share with them. Either just a photograph or photograph with some information, or in this case, layer 2, we can add dimensions to it. So instead of just clicking pictures in one single room and sending it and then sending pictures of material finishes and asking the customer to imagine how they will look together, this is a more finished product picture that you can create and share with them without ever creating a sample per se. While we are talking about creating samples, customization can never be too far away. So customization can happen in two ways. One is shape, the other is material. These shapes can be customized on the fly. The only thing is that these shapes have to be fed into the system per se. So this is not a 3D creation program. Creation has to happen outside. This can plug and play, basically. So on the fly, you can change the designs, you can change the materials required or showcased. So creating multiple options. And all this can happen in a what we call a co-create environment, where you are talking to your client all the time, and this is happening in real time with live feedback or on a call or even on this platform as well. What I'm showcasing over here to you is actually a little complex, it's a game, but a little complex product which has multiple elements in it. So you have this, the board, the knots and crosses, and the bowl. And if you look at it, you can change all the elements. So earlier we changed the board, now we're changing the bowl. So every single one can be changed on the fly, multiple options created and sent to the customer less than 5 minutes. And for doing all this, you do not need any technical knowledge per se. All you need to do is, from a drop-down, choose what finish or what material you want to choose or change to. So if you're talking about customization, catalog cannot be far away. That's how ultimately you have to first share with your customers. So catalogs typically work in two ways. One is a photography that you do, and then you share with the customers. In this case, using the 3D models that we have in our system, plus the ones that we add later on. All this is possible without any physical samples again. So this is all digital photography possible, different options available. But the working view is always the working view. So this is what you will share with a customer. And if you look closely, on top of every product, you can see approve, customize, and reject. So while a customer is looking through the presentation, all he needs to do, or sorry, your collection, all he needs to do is press one of these buttons and the status changes. He wants to add a comment right over there. It's in front of him, he can add a comment. So what we have done is made the entire platform very intuitive. While basic training is required, we do not, we have not faced a situation where we have to have a detailed training sessions with the customers that we have. While everything is there, what we also need to understand is how to administrate the whole piece over here. I'm going to show you two views. One is an individual product interface. So in this case, if you can look at it, you can also customize, apart from the product which was showcased earlier, you can customize the name, the description, the pricing that you're sharing with the client, whether you want to share or not. You can have, these are actually two conversation windows over there. One is for the team, one is for the client. So what you're talking internally should not go to the client and vice versa. So this is something which is there and tracks the conversation product-wise in a manner which is readily accessible and searchable as well. We have spoken about the catalogs. So ultimately, when we share catalogs with clients, there are projects. So this is a sample dashboard of a project that we can share. It tells you how many have been approved or shared with him, customized, or what phase they are in, what are the comments that have been made, and also the deadlines approaching for all the products within that collection. And let's say if you go on the right-hand side, if you look at the status, if I just search it by status, then it tells me in the drop-down menu, simple to use, how many products were received, approved, or confirmed. And it just is a simple drop-down. So the categorization or the view is in a manner where we do not require any technical person to view or operate this entire software.
Thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And this is how, when we say that we have kept 3D virtualization at the core of it, this is what we mean, that everything is virtual and intuitive in the process. And a little comparison, if you compare it with the traditional method, I don't need to go into detail, it has a long process, vis-a-vis a Polyline, which is more to do with the digital process. It just starts from a photograph and the buyer decision coming in very fast. What we are basically doing is we are trying to future-proof your business. Again, COVID has transformed the digital transformation space and everybody wants to get digital right now. But with this platform, we have not seen any other platform which is available, which puts the whole perspective on a space where the buyer decision from a customer has been compartmentalized and handled in this manner. So right from communication or showcasing and selection and sampling, all happening through 3D AR and in a co-act platform. Key impacts, will not go into too detail of it. I'm sure we can all understand, from samples to time to market to buy decision. That is my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm open to it.
Thank you, Rohit. Thanks a ton for the lovely presentation. I'm sure this has generated a lot of excitement. You can possibly unshare your screen.
Just a second. I'm just trying to see. Yeah.
Thank you, Rohit. Now, Rohit, I have a few questions to ask of you before we get everybody else involved in this. In terms of Polyline software, since it's a relatively new software that you've started, what is the after-sales support that you'd be offering to your vendors? Again, how scalable is the software in terms of using it between small, medium, and large enterprises?
Okay, so I will start with first question first.
Yeah.
In terms of after sales support, we have, we have FAQs, online tutorials as well. And apart from that, we also have a 24-hour SLA where we revert on every query within 24 hours.
Okay. Okay. And this is going to be online, all online help?
Yes. For now, we are doing online. We can't do on-site at this moment. Earlier, we were providing on-site help.
Right. Obviously. COVID times are new normals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for now, we have now finished with the online support at the moment. So we're just doing online at the moment.
Right.
In terms of scalability, we have put this entire software on an AWS cloud. Right now, about 45 or 48 vendors are already tied up with us, working from having, let's say, starting at 10 or 15 products in their catalog to more than 500 products in a catalog.
Right.
And this is all handled seamlessly on the cloud. So scalability is not an issue at all.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so we have Asad here from Iqbal Paramount with us from the industry today. Asad, if I can have you give a little bit of a review or your views, you've gone through the Poly9 software. Do you think it is something that is very pertinent for our home industry, I would say our growing home industry? And do you think on a personal level and on the exporter levels, this will be well received and possibly is the need of the hour? Or are there any challenges that you see to the software whereby we can work together with Poly9 to, get more going with them? Asad.
Well, thank you, Atal, for the question. And first of all, I would say that I'm thoroughly impressed with the nice presentation given by both Rohit as well as from Flow 3D. And must say that this is indeed the need of the hour. We definitely need technical or technological advancement, as you know, with the post-COVID-19. Things will change a lot in terms of traveling to buyers or attending trade fairs. So we are definitely looking for such platforms. The only concern, I think, is from the complete export fertility, it's a costing factor. I believe these, because still they are quite new in the market and they are quite expensive. So being, if we talk about the exporters and for the masses of the exporters, we need support, or we need a technical platform which is definitely cost effective.
Right.
For instance, with the current scenario with the internet, everything with Geo has made it so cheap and so reachable to everybody. So they need to come out with something which is like Geo, with every exporter from the industry can use it. Only then we can say yes to the first.
I know. I totally agree with you. And I think Rohit can well answer that question. I do believe it's a very cost-effective product. We've been reviewing it with Rohit for a fairly long time and have been in multiple discussions. So I think BAA, that way, as Rohit would say, has done a fairly good job for our exporter community in getting Poly9 to understand the need of the hour and to leverage on their product. So in terms of prices, Rohit, you can probably answer those questions in the Q&A and everybody will get to know exactly what it is about. So I hope that's okay. But I can assure you it is a cost-effective, cost-friendly product. We've reviewed it ourselves. So it does look very good to go. Anything that you see apart from cost that would be a challenging factor on this?
One more thing, I think that one question I have personally, because we were talking about the AR technology, and I have also been reading and researching that it's quite harmful for the health of a person using the AR technology for a long time. I also want to ask, how is it going to be in terms of a worker? Of course, if you will have a graphic designer or somebody working for us who's going to take this thing and going to sit on the computer for a long time, using this software or this technological software, will it be for the health any issues for our staff workers or for us?
Rohit, would you answer that for us?
Sure. This is actually not VR. This is actually AR, augmented reality. So in augmented reality, what we are actually doing is actually only using the camera of a phone or a iPad or device. So per se, I mean, we are moving to a digital world and viewing more screens. In terms of that, yes, more screen time for people is harmful and have multiple studies on that. But in terms of AR or VR being particularly harmful for a person, I have not seen such studies and would dwell into it. But like I said, what we are doing is using the camera of the phone to do into AR. So, I mean, it's actually more device dependent than software dependent.
Okay.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you for this. And thanks a ton, Asad, for validating our perception of the software. In fact, we also do have here with us today avid user of Poly9, Mr. Arbab Shamsi. Arbab, can I request you to come on and share with us exactly what has your experience with Poly9 been so far? Do you really think it has made a difference in terms of your business, in terms of your presentation, and in terms of getting more business from your customers because of the kind of products you're able to pitch to them? Arbab, over to you.
Yeah. Good
And
morning, everyone.
also the cost effectiveness. Saad, we would like to know the cost. A lot of questions are being asked on the cost effectiveness of the product. So if you could tell us how viable it is and how have you been able to amortize it with your customers. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Asad, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, good. So my name is Mohammed Arbab Shamsi, and we are from Paramount Home Collections. And there is a movement why we opted for this software. You know, we have been doing before only small scale products. We don't know. We wanted to move in the hard goods and the bigger size like furniture project and stool items and all the items. So when we thought of doing sampling and making molds, then we went and we had our own idea in our mind that we want to make this type of stool or this type of table. But when we went and we opted for the mold cost, it was coming way too high. Even to make a small model, if you are making the samples of furniture or a stool by hand, it was a big problem for our industry before. You have to pay for the raw wood cost. I would continue in my local language because this will give a real because all the people are who are here, they know about the technical details, they know about the technical things. So for example, if I continue in a mixed language. So when we make, हम जब स्टूल बनवाते हैं तो स्टूल के लिए we need a लकड़ी का मोल्ड पूरा, and that is a big cost also, and we don't realize it when we pay for the sampling. Be it अगर हम लकड़ी का मोल्ड बनवाते हैं, then we have to make the wax mold also. So if you are doing a smaller item, that is not a problem, you can get it done. But once you move to a bigger item, like you are making furniture, you are making stools, and you are making ottomans, and you are making bigger item, because वहाँ पे the more industry, जो industry है वो ज़्यादा इसी को opt कर रही है. Small scale items पे तो there are lot of customers who are buying, and they are sending us their own physical samples also from where they are buying the samples and sending us the exact samples. But when it comes to bigger item, there was a big challenge for us. So at that moment we discussed with our customers that we have our existing customer who were buying from us small items. Then we thought, why don't we move it into the fire pits and bigger items? So then there was a need which made us decide that let's invest in Poly9. And then at that time we met Poly9 people, and then एक हमारे दिमाग में एक सवाल चल रहा था, and then they came with the solution. So that's when we opted for Poly9. Always our buyer says a picture speaks 1,000 words, and it's a normal thing. But I don't know how much a realistic 3D, how much billion words it's going to speak. So that's the reason we opted for Poly9. Yes, it is it is not a cost-effective product. You are right in terms of thing, but you have to realize that you have to take it as an asset investment. You cannot take it as an investment that it's not a regular investment. If once you are opting in for 3D and you are investing money, you have to keep using it. If you use it for a while and then you move out, then it's not going to work for you. You have to be long-term in this approach of yours.
That's really true, Arbab. We always have to keep trying and making effort, because with any new technology, one of the biggest challenges that come in is change management, because people are not used to it. They don't want to put in that extra bit of effort that goes into understanding the product and fine-tuning it to our specific needs. So unless we are committed to a new product, and especially on the technological side, it becomes very challenging to absorb it into the system if you're not really there 100% with it. So very well said, and thank you so much, Arbab, for this feedback. Definitely validates to a lot of our members here who are in the audience today and checking this product to help us really take this forward in a very serious manner forward. Thank
Plus,
you, Arbab.
one thing I would like to add also.
Yes, please.
You are, for example, anybody is walking in the environment and anybody likes anything. So if you have to imitate the finish, you have to do 5 times, 6 times a wrong finish. But you can imitate the exact thing from this software easily, and then you can give it. Of course, you have to try it at the end, but you will only try once your customers like that finish. You will not have to try it upfront.
Correct. I mean, I think all of us as exporters or buying agents go through this phenomena where the same product has to be made 3-4 times at times, and especially when it is a design-led product. Because thoda sa finish mein garbad ho gaya, ya anything goes slightly wrong, we have to make the product all over again. And sometimes it's obvious that it is not going to be all right, but just because we've not visualized a picture, we can't do it. So I think Poly9 software there is a big help for all of us to create a lesser sampling area, which reduces the cost of sampling, which reduces the effort that goes into sampling, and make sure that we are more streamlined on this end to take the product in the first shot correctly to our customers. So that's a great thing here with the software.
And of course, in the long run, it will be environmental friendly also. The less samples, we will be more sustainable also.
Absolutely,
in the future.
absolutely.
This topic was not added by any of the 3D guys, so I thought this is the biggest point, that you are actually being sustainable for the environment also.
Yeah, I think that's the selling word they should all be using, because sustainability is the motto of each and every buyer in today's day and time.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, Arbab. Thank you for the lovely feedback. Thank you, Rohit, for the complete presentation. You have a lot of questions now in the Q&A session, Rohit. If I can request you to answer those
just
questions.
a moment, Achal. Before Arbab runs away, because he's one of the key people who's actually used Poly9. What is the concern? एक सवाल उठता है. आप मुरादाबाद area से, there are very small manufacturers over there. Is there a possibility to use this at a central point in a cluster formation, a cooperative way, to amortize the costs among the manufacturers? Would you be able, Arbab, to see this happening in places to help the smaller manufacturers in Moradabad, Saharanpur, Panipat, etc.? So I'd really like to have your view on that.
This is a good question. Actually, iske bare mein I would like to say that it will depend on our buyers. If they will ask us the samples in 3D, pehle all the sub-suppliers or the subcontractors or the small scale industries were not able to do. But as the buying agency reached, they raised their expectation. So accordingly, everybody transformed. So this will be a transformation thing. Everybody has to transform themselves, because yes, it's complicated and difficult for the very, very small scale people to use, who don't have the technical background, or who don't have, I mean, not that high technical background, but they need some little bit technical background for that. Rohit, you have to unmute yourself if you're speaking something. Yeah.
Rohit, thank you, Arbab. Rohit, what would you consider a way to go forward in cluster areas like Moradabad to have a cooperative of Poly9 so that it can be accessible to the smallest of manufacturers and the cost is amortized across them? So Rohit, could you let us know how this can be worked out for the industry?
Sure, Rohini ma'am. Sure. So I was answering a lot of questions on QA, and most of them are around the costs. If you allow me, I can share the costs on this as well, and I can answer all the questions as well. In terms of building a cooperative, we already have a team who is physically stationed in Moradabad to help the local vendors and factories onboard and support in that area. Because of COVID, we are not encouraging physical contact or asking them to go visit the factories at this time. In terms of the costing, which has been brought up several times, earlier our cost was different. And like Anshul said, we have been talking with the BAA. Given the change scenario and the audience that we have, the costing has been restructured a lot. In this case, what we have done is that you can purchase 25 3D samples creation by Poly9 for a sum of 50,000 rupees as a package, and no other costs with it. And that is valid for a year. So if you purchase now, you can get 25 samples, made anytime during the 1 year that you have with us. And the platform comes as a package with this.
That could be quite expensive still for the smaller factories, Rohit. So that's
Ma'am,
what I
if you
was really
consider,
considering, if you would set up a cooperative where the costs could be shared. Is that a possibility?
So if I talk about the costs
can
in
we
terms
have
of hard
question
goods,
answers little later because there's another panelist waiting?
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
Nitin.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Rohit.
Okay, I would now invite Sanjoy Sehgal. Sanjoy is from Accent, and Accent has a PLM software, product lifecycle management software called Chain Reaction. In fact, today I believe Sanjoy is going to take us through a TNA application that they have devised. Is that right, Sanjoy?
Yeah, correct.
Great, great. So Sanjoy, the platform is all for you now.
Okay, let me share my screen first and
Absolutely.
tell me
Please do.
if you can see it. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. So my compliments first for Flow 3D and Poly9. That's just some really amazing software. I'm talking about something much more mundane, but nevertheless important. It is the processes that make a company run. And typically, one works with a time and action calendar or a TNA to run your processes. This is your everyday work. You know, it's pretty much the lifeline, the central nervous system of your organization that you work on every day. However, most companies I know use Excel TNAs, which there are a lot of problems with. You are not learning. How are you going to improve your processes if you're not measuring them, if you're not learning from them? So Web TNA is a very quick, simple way of putting your TNA on the web. You don't need any extra hardware. There's no extra investment required. It's independent of industry. You can be in apparel, hard goods, anything, that doesn't matter. And let me address the question of cost right up front. It'll cost you 1,000 rupees per user per month. So that's extremely cheap. Okay. Let me just quickly walk you through a presentation. So we have 3 products. The PLM includes WebTNA. And I'm going to here talk about just about WebTNA. So what is the WebTNA? It's simply putting your TNA on the web where you pay, a monthly fee. It's all internet based. It runs on your phone as well as on the desktop. Everything if you see, it's color coded. So it makes it really easy to see what's on time, what's running a bit late, what's running very late. Very visual. There's a live chat, just like WhatsApp. There's a complete live chat with all people participating in the TNA, except the difference is here, this chat is saved. So 6 months later, I can go back and see what happened in the TNA, what was the conversation, what are the pictures, what are the documents. Everything is preserved. Okay. And most importantly, everybody gets a personal calendar, right? So everybody knows what they have to do today, this week, next week. And every day you get a single email with your mail where it's again color coded and you have action buttons in the email. You do not have to log in. So from the email itself, you can do your work. We have lots of dashboards on the mobile as well as on the desktop. And a dashboard like this, where it's telling me for these products, what the status is for each. In one screen, I can see what's happening. Okay, really, really powerful. And we also have scorecards. So you can actually compare your users, your teams, your vendors, whatever. You can compare different things. A measurement of what's happening. One more thing, if you notice here, there's a projected date. So anytime in the TNA, it's warning you well in advance that this TNA is likely to miss a delivery date. So right from the beginning, you get a warning, right? You can go and register and use it for free. We allow you up to 10 users and 20 TNAs for free. So just try it out. And accent.com, just come and see it. Now I'm going to the various levels of using the software. I'm going to show you the simplest way of using the software. We have a YouTube channel. You just type Accent Software or WebTNA. I'm going to show you a quick start. Within 5 minutes, you can start using this software. Is this visible?
It is visible, but I think your screen is loading still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Sanjoy, I believe people are thinking you're not speaking, but just let me input. This is a video that Sanjoy is running. There is no audio associated with it. Sanjoy, if you could quickly explain the video, I believe the members are unable to understand because it's a quick moving video.
Can you hear it?
No, we cannot hear it. We can only see it.
One second, I'll just share computer sound. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was not audible. Now can you hear it?
Yes, thank
you. Enter your email and click on the Sign Up button. You will be asked to confirm your email with an OTP. Fill in the registration form and click on Next. The TNA fields are set based on your company type. You can change these fields at any time. You can copy and paste the activity list from Excel. You can enter multiple TNAs. When finished, click on the Done button. There is also a way to import multiple TNAs from an Excel file. That is all the setup that is required. Now you can see what the system shows you based on the data that you have entered. Each user automatically gets a calendar showing their own activities. A dashboard shows the status of the TNA and all the activities in a single screen. Each user receives a single automatic reminder email every day with action buttons. The dashboard in the mobile app gives each user a quick overview of their activities and the status of all running TNAs. Clicking on the picture gives the details of the TNA. A live chat can be done per activity, including text, pictures, documents, and audio messages. A user can simply swipe an activity to close it. Try it for free. No credit card required.
Okay, so that was a quick, that's what we call the quick TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Quick start, and extremely easy to use. It takes all of 5 minutes to start using it.
It indeed sounds very, very simple when you see it like this. I'm sure a lot of the members today, we have even now 222 members today, they would love to try this. A couple of things that I would like to ask you, Sanjoy, vis-a-vis the TNA software that you've just shown to us. One of the things is, again, we saw this to be more government driven. How is it going to be driven vis-a-vis hard goods or a home furnishings business?
Actually, a process is not really dependent on what kind of business you're doing, right?
Right.
It can be anything. It can be, whether you're in hard goods or fabrics or textiles, actually any business. There's always the process, the steps involved, and that's what a TNA is about. Right? So it really doesn't matter.
So can the user at their own end, because right now when we saw the presentation, it shows fabric trims, it showed cuts and fits and all, which is very pertaining to garment. So if other members who are on the session today want to use this TNA and are coming from the hard goods or home furnishing industry, can they change those TNAs to make it more driven to their industry?
The steps, the activities are simply what you decide yourself. There's nothing
so we can
special.
Customize that ourselves.
Everything is customizable, including the data, what you're recording about it, that's also totally customizable.
Right. So that's probably going to be one of the questions I've answered for most people here, because we were getting a lot of questions on Neelam's presentation, whether that was possible to be done for hard goods and furniture industry. So that answers one thing. The other thing that I would also like to know is when you said about the live chat, is it an integration between the supplier and the buyer and the agency, or what kind of chat are we talking about here?
It's really up to you. You want to include a customer, you want to partially show the TNA to a customer, that's possible. You want to include your level. Yeah, you can control it all.
Okay.
What I want to emphasize is that what I showed was a very simple level, but there are various levels to the TNA also.
Right.
At the simple level is quick start. Then you get slightly more complex where you actually create your own templates.
Okay.
Right? I'll just quickly show you this, the actual package. This is, for example, my calendar. You can also create your own templates. Means how do you work?
And all this facility is available on the free version of the software that
yes, everything is available. Yeah. Okay. So here you can actually create your, your TNAs. You can create them, change this, everything. All right. And at a extreme advanced level, you also have the ability to create custom activities. Let me show you this. This is, for example, a quality activity, inspection activity, which will run on your phone as well as your desktop.
Right.
So this complete inspection can be done on your phone by the QC at the factory. So there are various levels to the software, starting very simple to go into very sophisticated usage.
Okay, so you have the quality module also in this TNA.
Yeah, we have several. We can make any kind of custom, information you like. And I think the most important thing is simply the dashboards, where you actually get an overview of everything in a single screen. That's so critical.
And do you think this is a TNA plan that not only exporters but also buying agencies can use? Because I do understand Triberg is using that with you.
Absolutely. I think buying agents are more dependent on the TNA than anybody else, because they have so much more coordination to do.
Correct. That's true. So, I mean,
we are piloting with him currently on a quality.
Perfect. In fact, that's one of the questions I just saw. So I thought, and it's a pertinent question. It was asked by Manu Arora. So I thought I might as well ask that, because obviously
he's an old partner, but currently we are piloting a project with him.
Great. So we would definitely look at the feedback once you have completely test run this, but this definitely looks very interesting, Sanjoy. I would at this point in time also like to invite our industry experts, Arbab and Asad, if you guys could come and comment on the software for us. Arbab and Asad, are you there with us?
Yes, Sanjay ji, one question I have, Ancha ji already asked about it, that whether the software, this TNA is also good enough for our hard good industry. Is there any of your clients till now, or any buying agent till now?
Yeah, we have many. We have, I think, we just introduced this software quite recently. So we have about 40 to 45 active larger users and about 300 total companies who are using it.
So
there's
what I mean
quite
is
a-
in hard good industries, not in the
hard
garment
goods,
industry.
I don't know,
You have
but
it in-
remember something, a TNA is really independent of what you're doing, right? If the TNA is about steps, it has nothing to do with the industry. So what are your steps?
Asad,
Correct?
let me also help you with that. I mean, my question was similar to what you've asked, because when you see it on screen, it looks like it's a very garment-driven TNA. But then that's what Sanjoy explained, to say that this is completely in our hands, that instead of there being a fit and a trim, which is more pertinent to garment, we can have a dhalai wala and a casting and
You
this
can
and
do
that, those
anything you
kind of
want. Yeah.
TNAs that can be built in, to say product ki dhalai ho gayi, uske raw pieces aa gaye, uski welding ho gayi, uski buffing ho gayi. So we can just change features
And the advantage is that everybody involved will get an alert on a daily basis कि काम कहाँ अटका हुआ है.
Right.
जैसे polishing वाले ने नहीं डाला तो people, everybody will come to know it's a अटकोड in the polish वाला guy. So you can customize it to your own TN task. You don't have to. That is the beauty of the product, that you can put your wood purchase of wood on by this date, polishing to finish by this date. Whatever the process, you can mark it and create it. Put the delivery date, it auto calculates. Then after you
Let me give you some more information. You can actually create your own fields. We don't mandate you to do anything. We have some fields, you can use them, or you can create your own fields on the fly. So it's really up to you.
तो मैं if I give you a very lame, मतलब बहुत simple way में बोलूँ तो ये SAP versions का बच्चा version है, basic version है, जो मतलब we don't have to go for the expensive SAP जो होते हैं software, तो उसका बिल्कुल baby है, starting के लिए हम जैसे छोटे exporters जो अगर use करना चाहें, they can start with this initial platform, the TNA.
Yeah. Yes, it is very, but we do a lot more. Huh? Like I showed you that one activity, it's not, it's much more actually than what SAP has. Because our TNA, the activities can be programs, can do anything. This is a complete inspection program as an activity. So your activity is not simply, done or not done. It can actually pop up a program and get data. So it can be anything. So it's more advanced than what any PLM or SAP has in terms of, but it's very affordable and it's extremely easy to use. That is our main USP.
Now, sir, I would like to add on something to this, that right now you see जो जितने हमारे users होंगे, not everybody, maybe if you want us to use this software from beginning till end, if we have to hire a feeder who can read in English and type it, you should make it multi-language also.
Okay, that's a good suggestion.
You should make it in multi-language, because without multi-language, the end user from bottom till end, from top to bottom cannot use it. Otherwise, we need to hire a feeder. We need to hire a feeder. We need to hire a feeder.
Great idea.
We need to hire a feeder for that. We need to hire a feeder for filling the data. Otherwise, because that will become, software could be cheap, but then we have to hire a feeder also for every stage. Then that makes it indirectly expensive. So you have to make it. Right now we are using Excel file as a TNA file in our company, and we are using Kurti Dev fonts in Hindi, and everybody is able to. Right now it's being filled manually by hand. All the formats are set in paper, and it's being printed out by the Excel format, and they are refilling it by. And there are some agents who have sent their own PPM meetings format and their own formats. So we have merchandisers who are filling that, and at local level, we are filling in the local language in the Excel form and as a hard copy, because everybody can write and fill the things.
That's not a problem. We already have other softwares already multi-language, because we deal a lot with Chinese vendors and also that.
So Hindi is our native language, so we should have
not
this.
Not a problem. We shall address that
Absolutely,
immediately.
a very well made point. Arbab.
Can I get some more speakers? Shakshi wanted to say something. Shakshi, Mark, if you want to come in. If not, then Vishal Narayan wanted to say something. Followed by Prakash Mudali.
Anybody who wants to raise a question to our panelist can come up now. And Sanjoy, we have a lot more questions for your software also in the Q&A tab. If you could please answer some of them at least.
I will definitely.
Yeah. Vivid has come up. If the others are not available, Vivid, you can come and speak.
Yeah, please carry
Vivid,
on.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, you are.
Great. With this slide, I just wanted to, first of all, congratulations on the great software. I think it's quite applicable across industries, so it should help everybody. But just going through the presentation, I was wondering if you can split one product into multiple sub-products and then still keep it under one umbrella project. So for instance, in the hard goods category, we often deal with one product that we're shipping, but that product has different sub-products associated with it, different parts into it that go into it, and every part has a different process or a list of processes.
Right.
So I usually face this is a situation where one product has 15 components. Each component is to be treated in 2 different manners, and then that becomes a bit cumbersome. So if we can put all of that in one streamlined process and bring everything together under one product category, can we do that?
So what you do is we have special activities, right? The simple activities are open, close, recommends. Special activities can pop up a form. So your components can be entered in a special activity with a status for each, right? So for example, you have 20 materials that have to come in before you can start production.
Yeah.
So you have a special activity which lists those materials and you can say receive, done, receive before you start your production.
So when you say status for each, am I limited to just having a status as in active, cancelled, and just the 3 or 4 options, or can I do extensive statuses as well? So say for instance, one single screw has to go through a different polishing and a finishing process, and the rest of the product is probably a different polishing process, but still same or different processes, be it what.
I think this is very specific. We should sit down and discuss this. I put my contact details on the chat and let's discuss it. We do this all the time, with larger companies. We have a complete API, so you can link into other systems, and we can make special activities which suit your work anytime.
Right. Thanks. Makes sense. That's about it.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you. We have Vishal also. Vishal Narayan, would you like to talk? Do you have
so can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was a bit confused about how to get onto the... anyway, so I have 2 questions for Sanjoy. One I put on the chat, but I'll still ask it again. So, because if you want more and more people, more and more companies to adopt, start using your TNA, can you customize the task lists going industry-wise, or can you customize them for individual users?
Totally, the task list is totally your data.
Yeah, and the number 2 is, in this post-COVID world or the current COVID world, everybody is getting extremely overwhelmed by the amount of technology that one has to start using to conduct business. So there are different kinds of formats for chats, for videos, so somebody using G Suite, somebody using Office 365, people using different platforms. So without taking away from the usefulness of your software, I just want to ask, because this is just one more, people would have built their functionality around, let's say, Office 365 or G Suite and things like that. So they will have to, take in another functionality of TN from Accent and then have to sign in again, and they'll need to be signed into their existing platforms. So can there be an integration between these platforms so that they don't have to do multiple sign-ins and be there at the same time?
Absolutely. See, number 1, I said you can use it 3 ways. You can, on your phone, you can use it. So no login that it remembers your login, just use it like an app. Number 2, in the email, you don't have to log in. You just click the buttons and you do your work in the email without logging in. And number 3 is the actual login. But yes, we have an extensive public API, and we can integrate with any system whatsoever.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you. We have Prakash Muduli. Prakash, would you like to come up with your question, please? Prakash, are you there? You'd have to unmute yourself. I think he's not able to come in. There is Sudhir Grover also in line.
Hello. Hello, Sudhir. I want to ask for Mr. Sanjay Saigal one question. Like the software is very, very interesting, very user friendly. I just want to know, apart from this free version, is there any additional features of the higher version that you have projected? What are the benefits of that? This is one question. Okay. And secondly, I want to know from your software, can we send a part of the information directly to the buyer, because who suppose I'm working for some customer, I'm a buying agent for them, and they want to know the progress in a particular period of time. So can we do the inspection report and other documents through a software? Is possible, or we can send only the information, particular information on the planning which is there? Is there any kind of advanced feature?
The first question is about the users.
Yes.
The free plan is you can have 10 users and up to 20 TNAs you can make, right? After that, you come to the paid plan, and there is an advanced plan where you get all the special activities. We keep on adding this because an activity can, for example, also be about production. What is your production status? How many cut, how many soon, whatever. So that activity. So we have many, many special activities. So the advanced, plan is for that. Your next question is whether you can send information to the customer. All the information in the system, you can make your own reports and email them anywhere. But also in your running TNA, you can make some steps visible to the customer, only some, not all. It's up to you.
Okay, thank you. Can I have the cost idea for the advanced software? Any idea?
I have it.
Can I request for this to be taken now? We're already running out of time. I'll make sure, Sudhir, that Sanjoy answers this over to you, or we'll get this answered to you, as I don't think Sanjay has the related cost details as of now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
By the way, it's on the website. All the costs, everything's on the website.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Sanjoy. Thanks a ton. I believe it's been an extremely fulfilling session, I must say. And I must thank Neelam. I must thank Sanjoy. I must thank Rohit. It's been an amazing session understanding all three products. I don't see where any of these three products is something that we can't use in our industry, be it the buying agency or the exporter side of the business. Your information was very pertinent, very helpful for all of us today. And we've seen this by the active participation and a lot of people coming in and chatting up with us. So it's been an absolutely fabulous session. Thank you all so much for being here with us today and helping us organize this beautiful session together. On behalf of the complete team at BAA, on behalf of Christine Rai, our chairperson, Rohini Suri, our knowledge head, Nitin Mohan, our technical expert, who actually was behind doing this entire webinar today and was the backbone of the seminar for today. On behalf of the team who has helped us organize everything else, I thank you all. And I thank all the participants who joined us today to get this as such a raving success. Thank you all. Take care and stay safe.